Good afternoon, everyone. The Panda Photographer is back, and I want to talk about the Sigma 18-35 for E-mount, and I want to hear your true thoughts about if you're going to buy this for your E-mount crop sensor, and what would you use it for, photography or video, because it's a very good versatile lens. But I'm here doing the live, just want to hear some feedback from all of you that either use this with the MC11 adapter or take the time to look into it but didn't see that Sigma had the offer in it to make it for E-mount. But I am the Panda Photographer once again. Welcome to the channel, and if you are new here, please do subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button, hit the thumbs button if you like the live feed, and if you want to see any of my other content, you can do that by browsing through my history of what I uploaded. But as a photographer, I really want to emphasize like why Sigma should play the smart game here by adding the 18-35 f1.8 DC HSM first zoom. It's the first fast zoom, constant zoom lens with a constant aperture at f1.8. Lost my train of thoughts there for a second. So if you are in the comments, if you are in the live right now, please do. It's a live chat. We're going to talk about it, and I feel that I need to address some of the ins and outs about this lens. And it's not a perfect lens. I'm not trying to promote a perfect lens because there's no such thing as a perfect lens, but I'm also trying to help a certain community, even though I'm not currently using that mount at this time. But that community needs someone to back up and make a statement, and this is the best opportunity, the best platform to do it on. So with that said, guys, let's get into this topic really quickly. Wait for a couple more people to come into the live really quickly, so we can get started. And we have 2 people watching, but yeah, this is a great opportunity to, you know, take the time out to let it all go, guys. What do you guys think Sigma should do? Should they make it for the E-mount, or should they not make it for the E-mount? But my thoughts is that they should make it for the E-mount, because there's a large audience out there that is looking for this lens for E-mount. Just don't want to spend the money for the MC11 adapter, which I would have to say, like, Sigma has to play fair here. And the reason why that says Sigma has to play fair here is because, like, it's going to help Sigma grow so much on this platform. But if Sigma doesn't want to play fair by making the 18-35 f1.8 art lens to complete the art lineup, it's going to be a kind of disappointing part, because you're going to hear people say this thing is that why is Sigma not making it for E-mount? Because keep in mind, Sony is going to still make crop sensor cameras for E-mount. It makes completely sense to make it for future cameras, so especially for the crop sensor. But let me start with one of these experience with me personally having with the 18-35 on the A-mount side. Now, no adapters are required. It's a full A-mount adapted lens. So is it fast? Does it hunt? Does it have focus breathing? How has it been for you? Now, I'm going to answer those questions by, I'm going to tell you guys this right now, that no problems with the lens other than a few here and there of misfocus. Using the Sigma 18-35 stock, Sigma dock, I did calibrate it, did program it to be sort of like a micro lens, but not a true 1-to-1 micro lens. It hunted a lot when I programmed it, but once I got it in sharpness, it was perfect. Then I reset it back to default on the dock, worked perfectly fine. Now there is a tad of a little bit of hunting, but it's not really noticeable. As long as you have, especially using the A mount that I used to for the A99 Mark II at one point, when I tried it out, the A77 Mark II, I have to say that autofocus is really snappy, especially with that HSM motor. It's pretty damn snappy, pretty fast for crop sensor. Now, my experience with it the last 4 years, well, that's almost 4 years, should tell you something, right? He had it for 4 years. He talks about it. He uses it. Used it 2 nights ago when I did the night photography, the midnight run. I used it then. I like it. Can I go wider? Yeah, I could go a little bit wider, but I feel like 18 to 35 is like that sweet spot for some amazing street photography. You can get some astro photography with it. That's if you're willing to drive out to countrysides or where there's no light pollution, so you can capture Milky Way. You can capture maybe some trail stars. That's just your opinion, but for video, wow, amazing to have that aperture f1.8. Now, not all the time I use 1.8. I use f2 sometimes, f2.8, f4, f5.6. The highest I ever use for video is f8, and when I need a scene to be crispy sharp, everything needs to be like in focus, tap sharp, so it addresses the audience on a scene where they are, and also addresses the point of the talents that are in the scene. So I kind of want to catch both in the scene, 2 talents in the scene, but I can always use like a 35 to have a confrontational relationship between the lens and the talent. So I really want to like emphasize in for videography. Yes, and sometimes I use 35 mil just to have a confrontational argument in when I'm actually doing videography work. Try to focus. Now when I do product and YouTube videos, I use it quite often. A lot of times when I want to make pen shots with my ball head, it's pretty good. Using with the Sony system with the focus peaking makes it much better when you shoot in manual, especially for videographers. Now you guys want to ask me this question, and since there's only 2 people in here right now and not chatting up that much, I'm going to address something for you guys. In video and autofocus, I have to say, like with the autofocus, it's good, it's reliable, so I don't recommend having the speed drive on fast. I would say like medium, low. You just want to keep it where it focuses enough at a really nice and smooth pace, because you want the transition from one scene, from one person to, say you have 2 talents in the scene, you want to make a smooth transition to one to another, or you just want to make smooth transitions when you're manually focused. Now autofocus, it works really well if you're a blogger. Yes, this lens can be a pain, and yes, it does weigh. And see here, at 28.6 ounces, yeah, that's pretty. It's a front heavy lens. No matter what camera you put it on, you can put it on a Canon or a Nikon with a beefier body, but it is still a front heavy lens. But that's good for some people that use autofocus, because some people do like to hold the 1835 by the lens and hold it there at 18 mil, but have autofocus actually work. But the focus rings are really smooth. If we check their website, which show you guys the website in one moment, let me bring it up here. All right, if we were to check the website, right, they have everything you need to know about this 1835. Now let's get to the reason why I think cinema should actually really play game and play ball with making this to a really good compromisable a very good compromisable lens for crop sensor mirrorless cameras. Now, for me, working with the Sigma 18 to 35, a lot of people made it to a point where they're like, oh yeah, I really wanted this lens, but I only had the option to get the MC11 adapter. Now, there's nothing wrong buying the MC11 adapter to mount other Canon lenses onto the Sony, which that's a very good reason why you should still buy the MC11 adapter. But if you just want to use a lens straight out the box with no adapters, and Sigma announces we're gonna push out all their Sigma art lenses for FE mount, I think it's reasonable enough to say, yeah, yes, also do it for the 1835 for the crop sensor, so we can complete this package so people can save money to buy lenses for APS-C. Now let's get you 360 here, so you can see like this is the design of the lens. If many of you haven't really got the chance to look into this lens, this is a great option. Now yes, it doesn't have weather sealant. It doesn't have any weather gases in the back, as you can see. It's not it wasn't designed, but from my experience in the last almost 4 years, I had it out in the rain the other day. It held up pretty well. There's no moisture and there's no compensation in my lens. The build quality on the lens is really exceptional. You can see the contact points where it detects the autofocus, but this one is for the A mount. I'm showing you A mount version, so it does have the autofocus switch on the side, and your focal lengths are in the top here. So if you really wanted to like get into it, see, you guys got 35, 28, 24, 20, and 18. So you get 5 focal lengths in one lens for $800. So it's a really good price point for photographers and videographers that would normally spend what, $500 to $1,000 on each focal length here, like 18, 20, 24, 28, and 35. You're spending quite the money on multiple lenses when you have one lens that can do it all at F1.8. So this is another reason why. Now, I'm not promoting Sigma, not sponsored by Sigma, and Sigma didn't tell me to make this live chat. What I'm demonstrating here is that the fact that I really believe that if a lot of E-mount shooters are buying the Canon version to shoot with the MC11 adapter onto the to the E-mount bodies, then it's best that Sigma should play ball here and really say, let's give what the consumers want. Let's give what photographers and videographers want. Let's make it for the E-mount. Make it much more easier, especially using gimbals or stabilizer gimbals at that, because I've seen a lot of filmmakers out there, even in San Francisco. They have the Sigma 1835, but they got a Canon MC11 adapter converted to the E-mount, and with that little weight makes a big difference. So just a straight E-mount 1835 will be best. Now, astrophotographers and street photographers will love this. Wedding photographers will have a party with this lens, but that's not for me to say. But that's up to you to decide if you really want this particular lens for E-mount. It's up to you guys to make the decision that contacting Sigma or posting Instagram feeds to Sigma, or expressing why they should make the 1835 for E-mount. But for the money, it's a really good lens to say it. I really have to give it up. For $800 is a really good lens, and the first of its kind too, zoom lens. Now F1.8, you're not going to find any zoom lens that fast with 1835. You might find the Pateron 1530, you might find the Nikon version, but those are 2.8s. But 1.8 is such a better improvement, especially if you're shooting in low light situations. So other than that, Comes with a lens hood, comes with a carrying case if you want to carry in the case. But really have to say it, if Sigma doesn't really take the time out and think about this carefully, it's not going to lose. Sigma's not going to lose. After the Sony released A7 III, which is selling like hotcakes, by the way, really think that Sigma will not lose, but it will lose a certain amount of our audience. I'm not sure how big this 18 to 35 revolution is when it comes down to getting this for the email, but from my experience with all the lives and my experience with other people's chats on YouTube, other photographers' chats, they wish the 1835 was just strictly straight for the E-mount, but it's not. They don't want to spend money for the MC11 adapter. And then when they do spend money for the MC11 adapter and buy other lenses, they lose all concentration on the 1835 because, you know, other lenses are coming out. Like Sony's coming out with lenses, Sigma's coming out with new lenses, so that's losing focus on this lens that could be good for A6300, A6000, A6500, A6700, if there is going to be an A6700 or A7000. So just putting that speculation out there, but really want Sigma to also take the time out and make a telephoto lens. And I'm going to show you the telephoto lens that I am talking about. Now, Sigma has the 500mm f4.5, and I believe they have one. Let's see here. They have actually two versions of that lens. So one is the EXDG APO for the crop center, and the other one was for the full frame. Oh, and what they need to also do is make the 50-100 f1.8 for an email. That will be also part of the entire lineup. So I forgot about that one. 50-100 f1.8 DC HSM lens for the email should be for email. They should also convert that one into email. I think a lot of videographers would take advantage of that, but not only that, portrait shooters would take advantage of that as well. 50-100 gives you the flexible focal length between those focal lengths, and it would do really well for not micro photography, but close-up shots from the distance, and because it does come with a tripod column. So note, everyone, please, as a photographer, this is photography 101. If your telephoto lens comes with a tripod mount on the lens, if you're not using a tripod, the proper way to hold a lens on a smaller camera body without breaking the mount is you hold it, or you take your camera strap and you thread it onto that camera mount, that tripod mount on the lens. That is the proper way how to hold a lens heavier than its body, because some people have said that, like, oh, you can break your mount like that if you if you just grab your camera and just like have that weight. I never seen it happen personally, but what I was told as growing up doing photography is hold the tripod mount by the mount and never hold it by the camera grip. That's just a safety precaution, but I digress. But anyway, and what else you guys have? That's pretty much it. I think the 50-100 f1.8 is another good lens that's, you know, Sigma should actually really take the time out to really convert that over to E-mount as well. Give E-mount users a fair chance and a taste of how those lenses really work well together. Max Yuri did a video with this lens using the MC11 adapter, I believe, about a year and a half ago when it was released. Still very promising lens, but really heavy, so expect the weight to be front heavy. So if anyone is thinking about buying that lens and really want to spend the money on it, go ahead. It's $1,100, which is pretty a little bit expensive. Now you're hitting that intermediate and amateur level there, or when you're spending that kind of money, especially if you're a photographer on a budget. It's not really new to photography, but you know, doesn't do it much. But if someone that's been in photography and videography for quite some time can spend the money for the lens, but be my guest. But here's the lens. So this is the 50 to 100 f1.8 DC HSM lens. It's actually a pretty damn good lens for what a lot of people were reported. And one of the options you can do, and you see the column, the tripod column here. Let's see, we get a better picture. See, this is the tripod column. You should always hold it by the tripod column, never by the grip. But especially with smaller mirrorless cameras, the mount might it could be very front heavy, but it's one of the hottest lenses out there right now, but not as hot as 1835. But if you are a video maker, this is a good option. But it's up to you guys to decide what you want to buy or what you think cinema should do. I think cinema should actually literally just go ahead and just release, but I got this funny feeling they might do this at some point, maybe like 6 months down the road, to see how successful these Sigma FE lenses are going to sell. And I'm pretty sure the 105 is going to sell a lot. The 135, 35, 50, what else? Maybe the 20, what is it, 14 to 24 is another one. So 14 to 24 with the Sigma, it's another lens that needs to be, that's on that arsenal. But you guys let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, and I believe that's pretty much it for it. So my 3 recommendations: when you make a video or a post with about any cinema glass, always hashtag it 1835 for E-mount if you really want the for E-mount. Now that just mean just telling you guys that if you really want Sigma to listen, and most likely they have listened to the community, because I don't think this will ever happen if Sony and its community, the community is what gave Sony its credibility. It's the community, you guys, that pretty much changed what is going on now in the foundation of photography. So I think the Sigma and the Sony relationship is so good. But you guys let me know down in the descriptions below what you guys think, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button and support the channel by hitting the notification button and sharing the content. You want to follow me down on social medias? You can follow me on social medias down in the description below. Support the channel. It's also in the descriptions as well. But eat, sleep, photography, videography, and repeat. And I will see you guys in the next live chat.